Catus Maximus here, doing a simple review today. This is the Calvan 29 8-piece clutch alignment tool set. Calvan is actually still around, but they for some reason don't make this. They also have a model, this is the fractional or imperial set. They also have a metric set, which is the model 30, and it just has 4 metric sizes, but this has always worked for everything I've needed. It seems almost every time you just use one of those plastic clutch alignment tools that usually comes with the clutch kit, and it always seems to be a Ford clutch alignment tool for some reason, at least in many applications. But that doesn't always work in a variety of vehicles, where a set like this does. A quick explanation of clutch alignment tools. Automobiles that are manual transmissions traditional have clutches. That's the third pedal in those vehicles. They have the engine has a flywheel, then there's a friction surface. It's really like a disc brake, except for instead of a caliper grabbing onto the disc, it's this whole spring-loaded plate that squeezes the disc between the flywheel and what's known as the pressure plate. When you replace a clutch and you're bolting on that pressure plate, what is known as the friction plate is in between there, and you want to get that centered so that you can install the transmission. That's what a tool like this is for. This is a 12 sizes. Each one of these bits is stepped, and each step does not duplicate anything on the previous sizes. So this covers pretty much everything. The only real criticism is they have a long nose, and so when you push it in, some crankshafts don't have enough depth for the bearing to actually for it to seat on this wider surface. It would have been nice if they would have threaded on both ends so you could have flipped it around. Otherwise, that's just the whole idea. Is these are shaped what is known as a pilot bearing, so the end of the transmission shaft actually aligns into the crankshaft with a pilot bearing. Sometimes they don't, and there's just a bushing in there instead of a rolling bearing. And so the idea with this tool is that you have this long rod. You would put on the appropriate size nose piece here. You would push it through and get it on in and aligned with that pilot bearing. And then this cone washer, you just push into the pressure plate and then work it around until it's absolutely centered. And then this is a pretty tight fit around the shaft, and then the cone ensures that the clutch friction plate gets properly centered so that when you go to install the transmission, you don't have a hard time. Fortunately, these Calvan tools seem to be on eBay all the time. A lot of times really cheap, like 15 bucks for this set. And so that's why I am reviewing it. I review old tools, but it's kind of neat to have an old tool set like this that the company doesn't make anymore, but that you can still get a hold of. A couple nice features is a nice knurling on the end of the main shaft just to make it easier to manipulate. And of course, really nice deep knurling on the collar. This is really just an excellent example of knurling, just perfect little diamonds. And so you get just a really excellent grip so you can twist this and really manipulate it when you have greasy hands, as often you are when you're replacing clutches. The only thing I'm going to really do is end up making a few more adapter pieces that are a little bit smaller. I've run in a couple situations where I needed really small adapters. Other than that, once I started using this, I haven't used one of those weird plastic clutch alignment tools for a long time. And those don't really seem to work quite as well as this tool, because once you get it in there and you get this collar centered, this rod is long enough for you to press it up and down and shimmy it around as you're tightening down the pressure plate. So you can really get a perfect alignment, something you can't do with one of those short plastic ones. This thing is really excellent. Just in that fact that you can do just little micro adjustments. Anyway, sorry for I guess a short review, although some people will appreciate a short review this time around. And you know what? This tool is even tiny approved. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.